Most people roll into the Seder and they know this part. So then what's the point? We have to delve deeper to understand what's really going on. Every moment has a theme and every nuance matters. And when you go through it, you come out a different person. So that's what we're going to explore together. The themes, the lessons, the reasons, the purpose. Because that's what this is really all about. The second of our three major symbols is matzah. Matzah is a big deal. In fact, the whole holiday is about matzah. The fight against chametz. We begin the Seder with lechem oni. Matzah is going to be a key piece to the meal. And so now we look at the matzah and we say, we hold it in our hands and we say, matzah zu sha'anu ochlim al shumra. Why do we eat the matzah? Al shum shelo hispik betzekam shel avosenu lahachmetz ad shenigla le melech malchi amlachim kodesh baruch hu galam. We did not have the time for the dough to bake. Remember the story. We ran out. We had the dough on our backs. Beating sun, Egypt in April. It baked our matzahs, and as a result, it became wafers or crispy crackers. So to remember that, we have matzahs. Okay, question. You think Hashem couldn't have worked it out that we had bread? Like, was it that complicated? Remember, we had a Seder the night before we left. We knew we were leaving. How long does it take to bake bread? Right? 18 minutes is matzah. Like, it's not very long. You could have had the bread ready the night before. What is the whole thing? Like, and by the way, okay, fine. They ran out. Granted. It's a technical difficulty. Stuff happened. Throughout our history, we've had a lot of stuff. There are stories in the Holocaust where they used margarine to light Hanukkah candles. We all have stories of where our great-grandparents didn't have things and as a result had to makeshift their Kiddush cups and makeshift their food. We've all had stories like this. All of our grandparents have had a moment in their lives where there was something that they had to do for Judaism and they didn't have it, and so they worked it out. We don't still do that. Maybe we do, we consider it on the side. It makes sense. You take a piece of matzah, you put it on the table and go, remember, pass the bread. We know Pesach is coming. We turn the whole place upside down. For a technical difficulty, they happen to run out. What's going on? So it's interesting if you notice something. There's actually a clue word here that throws a little bit of a question here. It says, Ushmartem es hamatzos. You have to watch the matzos. Ki bi etzem hayom hazeh hotzesi esivosam mi'eretz Mitzrayim. Now the word etzem means basically in the middle of the day. When Noach went to the Teva, it said, Be'etzem hayom hazeh. Almost to show the world, you can't stop me. Hashem took us out in the middle of the day. We did not run out. He paraded us out. You think after a full year of plagues, showing the world that he's in charge, fighting Paro, getting Paro to say time to go, he's going to run us out like fugitives? I don't think so. Chamushim alu. We came out strong. We borrowed all their gold and silver. We walked out wealthy. V'yetzu b'rechush gadol. You think that we walked down in the middle of the night like we breaking out of jail? No way. So we ain't been running. So the idea that we're running and let's go. That can't be. So I want to go into what is a famous Torah. It says in the Sefer HaChinuch, and then in the Sifsei Chaim, and Chaim Friedlander speaks about it as well. The Sefer HaChinuch says, Shehu na'aseh mikarvenu yikach dimyon liknos midas hazrizis. You know how we have matzah for? Because we have to learn the trait called zrizis. What does that mean? Alacrity. Enthusiastic diligence in the service of Hashem. Mihiris b'maiseh Hashem. What does that mean? So Rav Chaim Friedlander says, the secret to this mitzvah is hidden in the lesson in which we need to learn from the haste in going out of Egypt. Hashem didn't walk us out. He ran us out, but he didn't have to run us out. He ran us out to teach us a lesson, to say the lesson of the trait of Zerizos. For just as they say the Jews couldn't come out of freedom except through the power of Zerizis, so too it is impossible to come out to fulfill the Torah. It is impossible to completely fulfill the Torah and mitzvos except through Zerizis. Let's understand this a little bit. What is Zerizis? My understanding is like this. Time is elastic. It changes based on your relationship to it. That's why if you got a million things to do, although it is static, though it clicks, click, click, but your capacity to interact with time changes by how much is going on. You ever have like a million things to do and you get them done, and then you're lazy and you get nothing done? What does it mean to be part of the relationship with Hashem? In Pesach, we just did that we're committed, we're choosing. To really choose something means that I'm all in. How do you know if you're all in? How do you know? So you can tell, by the way, anyone who's ever dealt with had battled weight and health, you know. There are times in life where you don't really ever want to diet, but you feel guilty, so you go, I'm really going to join it. I'm really going to get on a diet. No, really, for real. When? Tomorrow. No, after the holidays. You know what? Next month, for sure. Summertime. You don't want to do it. But you feel guilty saying no, so you delay it. Then there's some times where you feel so like you're ready, you feel gross, that you just stop eating at the table. I don't know if you've had that before. Like you're eating and it's like the last day of the holiday or something and you feel so disgusting. You know what? You're like, I'm just not taking dessert. Your commitment to the thing is determined by the quickness in which you start to adopt the change. That's how you can tell. If you're committed to something, when you see an opportunity to do that thing, you can tell your level of commitment by how quick you act in the face of an opportunity. I was one time in a hotel room. I was in Israel for a week. My rabbi Levi called me and he said, I need you to do something for me. It was a spiritual thing. Go pray at some kever. And I'm like, I'm tired. I can't. I'll go tomorrow. He goes, no problem. He calls me back. And he goes, oh, by the way, there's an opportunity to get involved in a real estate deal. It's an opportunity. It's millions of dollars. I know the guy. He needs a thing. I said, okay, let me know. So he goes, let me ask you a question. When I asked you to go do the spiritual thing tomorrow, when I offered you millions of dollars today, what does that say about your commitment to spirituality? I'm like, oh, you got me, right? You can tell. I don't know. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not sure. I got an opportunity to make some money. What? For real? When you're committed to something, you run to it. Look at your life, and you'll see. Look at your life. See the things that you run to, that you'll do at any moment, at any night. See the things that you delay. The things you delay, you don't really want. You want to know if you're committed to Judaism, committed to Hashem? When He puts an opportunity in front of you, you run to it. It's an honor to serve the King. It's an honor to sacrifice for the King. Matzah was not a mistake. Matzah is life. That's how you get out of jail. That's how you get out of the culture and the secular mindset and all the Egypt of our lives, is when Hashem says there's an opportunity in front of you right now. You don't walk, you run, you explode. It's Etzem Hayom Hazeh. He didn't run us out. He did it on purpose. He ran us out to show us you got to run. You don't walk out of Egypt, you run out of Egypt. As Barry Sanders' father once told him, you don't wait for a hole, you explode at a crease, just a little crease, boom. And if you see an opportunity and you go beyond your nature, which is to walk normally, and you run in, you know what Hashem says I'll do? I'll meet you halfway. You know what happened? They left. 600,000 people left. What does it mean, Meiram Sukos? Look what Rashi says. The Esrim Mil. Mea ve'esrim mil. How much is Mea ve'esrim mil? Somewhere around 90 miles. Lefi Sham Lefi Shah. 2 million people. You can't get a family to walk down the block with under an hour. 2 million people, men, women, children, old, young, million degrees. Carrying their stuff for good, locking up the doors. The donkeys, everything. They went 90 miles in a moment. How? Because they ran. They ran. Zrizis. When you break your teva for unto Hashem, Hashem breaks the teva of the world and lets you become more successful. You get there quicker, you do more, you become more successful. Matzah is how you live in Pesach. Pesach is the commitment. I'm in. I choose. Matzah is how I act in this commitment. I explode. I run. I'm pumped. I'll do it. Hashem says, you will break your nature for me. That's how you do it forever. You get out of every Egypt in your world. You run, you'll get out of every Egypt. Because I'll meet you there. You take one step in that direction, and I'll move you 90 miles in a half a second. I'm God. It'll look like you can't do. You take responsibility. You take a chrayas, as I heard from Ramon Cutler. You take a chrayas, you'll get ability. Take on stuff. Do it. Because if you do it, and you take it on, guess what? You'll have kaiches. As Rapam said. Mit chrayas, come kaiches. That's how it works. And that's what Matzah is there to teach us. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for this series. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that it enhances your Seder and brings you closer to Hashem. We have some cliff notes for you in case you want a Seder companion. You can download it. Check out the series and the downloadable stuff at pesach.us. pesach.us. And hope you have a great holiday, and may we see the full redemption soon.